Shang-Chi had finally found peace in San Francisco, living a quiet life with Katy and occasionally using his skills to help those in need. But deep within him, the 10 rings pulsed with a mysterious new energy, something ancient that didn't belong to his father's legacy. Every night, Shang-Chi dreamed of another world calling to him, whispering through the rings in a language he didn't understand. Katy began noticing the change in him, his eyes sometimes glowing faintly as if something inside was awakening. When Wong arrived at the Sanctum Sanctorum with urgent news, Shang-Chi realized the strange visions weren't just dreams. The rings were resonating with a force older than time itself, something that predated humanity. Wong explained that several magical relics around the world were also reacting strangely. The 10 rings, once thought to be tools of conquest, were actually beacons, signals calling to something vast and powerful. Shang-Chi knew he had to uncover their true origin before the world paid the price. Shang-Chi and Katy traveled to Camartage with Wong to study the rings. As the sorcerers examined their energy, a surge of power erupted, sending shockwaves across dimensions. Through the blast, a distorted portal opened, revealing fragments of another realm filled with dragons and cosmic storms. Before anyone could react, a shadowy figure appeared, cloaked in energy similar to the rings, whispering Shang-Chi's name before vanishing. The portal closed, leaving behind scorched ground and unanswered questions. Haunted by the encounter, Shang-Chi sought guidance from Xialing, who had rebuilt the 10 Rings organization into something more structured and less ruthless. But even she had begun receiving mysterious messages from unknown sources. Her agents reported sightings of energy anomalies across Asia, ancient temples awakening after thousands of years. Shang-Chi and Xialing agreed to work together once more, but their uneasy alliance was tested by their conflicting beliefs about power and leadership. Katy, determined to prove herself, joined them on the journey despite the danger. She had grown braver and more skilled, often bringing levity to tense moments. Together, they followed a trail of energy to an ancient cave in Tibet, where inscriptions spoke of the Song of the Rings. The markings described a celestial being named Qorin, who had once ruled the skies before being sealed away by the first wielders of the 10 rings. The siblings realized the rings were never meant to be weapons, they were keys. Meanwhile, in a dark dimension parallel to Earth, Qorin began to stir. The weakening seal had allowed fragments of his essence to slip into Shang-Chi's dreams, guiding him toward freedom. The ancient being believed Shang-Chi was his chosen vessel. Across the multiverse, other entities began to notice the growing imbalance. Wong reached out to Dr. Strange, who warned that tampering with cosmic relics could lead to catastrophic rifts across realms. As their journey continued, Shang-Chi started losing control of the rings. They acted on their own, responding to unseen commands. His father's voice echoed in his mind, telling him that true mastery came from acceptance, not control. Torn between fear and destiny, Shang-Chi meditated to understand the connection. In his vision, he met the spirit of Wenwu, who revealed that he had once heard Qorin's whispers too, and that he had resisted them by embracing his humanity, not his power. Shang-Chi emerged from the vision stronger. Realizing the rings were symbiotic, they responded to emotion. But just as he began mastering them, Xialing made a fateful decision. Believing she could use the ring's energy to strengthen her empire, she secretly activated a fragment of Qorin's seal. The skies darkened, and portals began tearing open across the world. From them emerged strange winged creatures that drained life energy wherever they landed. San Francisco became one of the first cities under attack. Wong and the sorcerers fought to contain the breaches, while Shang-Chi, Katy, and Xialing regrouped to stop the awakening. Guilt consumed Xialing as she realized her ambition had unleashed something uncontrollable. Together, the siblings traveled into the dimensional rift to confront Qorin's prison directly. The journey through the rift was chaotic, filled with visions of alternate timelines where their choices had led to ruin. Inside the cosmic void, they finally faced Qorin, a towering being of light and shadow with 10 halos orbiting his body. He claimed to be the true creator of the rings and offered Shang-Chi a deal: unite with him and ascend beyond mortality. The temptation was immense, but Shang-Chi saw through Qorin's manipulation. He understood that power without compassion only breeds destruction. A battle erupted, shaking the entire dimension. Katy used her quick thinking to disrupt Qorin's connection by firing a sacred arrow into the energy conduit. Meanwhile, Xialing fought alongside her brother, channeling her own inner strength. Together, they turned the rings against Qorin, forming a blinding sphere of energy. The explosion tore through the void, sealing Qorin away once more, but at the cost of destroying the rift and trapping them inside. As the realm began collapsing, Wang and the sorcerers used a final spell to pull them back to Earth. The siblings emerged battered but alive, the 10 rings now dormant. Xialing, humbled by her mistakes, vowed to use her organization to protect rather than dominate. Katy became a hero in her own right, celebrated for her bravery and heart. Months passed, and life slowly returned to normal. Shang-Chi placed the 10 rings in a hidden sanctum under Wang's protection, fearing what they might awaken next. Yet deep within the rings, faint pulses of light continued, signs that Qorin's essence wasn't entirely gone. The world had been saved, but the balance between realms remained fragile. Late one night, Shang-Chi stood atop a hill overlooking the city, feeling the night breeze. Katy joined him, teasing him about becoming a cosmic avenger. He laughed, but his gaze lingered on the horizon, where a strange aurora shimmered faintly. Something told him their journey was far from over. Meanwhile, far away in space, a distant planet glowed with the same golden light as the rings. A group of unknown beings studied the energy readings and spoke of the awakening of the 10. Their leader smiled and said, "Earth has opened the path again. It's time." Back on Earth, Wang received a message from Captain Marvel and Bruce Banner about similar energy readings near intergalactic gateways. The connection between the 10 rings and the cosmic forces was becoming undeniable. Wang sighed and muttered, "The next storm is already forming." Shang-Chi trained quietly, aware that fate was pulling him towards something much larger. He was no longer just a warrior or a son seeking redemption. He was becoming a guardian of worlds. The rings, though silent, seemed to hum softly whenever he reached for them, as if waiting for the right moment to return to his hands. Xialing rebuilt her empire into a network of protectors, teaching discipline and unity instead of fear. Her relationship with her brother deepened, both of them finally understanding their father's burden. Katy began training new archers under Wang's guidance, embracing her own destiny beyond being just the funny friend. As peace settled in, a mysterious figure in ancient armor appeared at the edge of a mountain temple, holding an artifact identical to one of Shang-Chi's rings. He placed it into a glowing circle and whispered, "The 10 must become 12. The portal behind him flared, revealing countless realms beyond. In that moment, the 10 rings pulsed again in Shang-Chi's hidden chamber, brighter than ever before. The world trembled as ancient forces awakened once more. And Shang-Chi, somewhere in the city, felt the call, clear, powerful, and inescapable. The next chapter of his destiny had just begun.